you summarize the season for yourself?
Yeah, no, I think I'm extremely proud of the season that I had. It's just extremely honored to be a part of this team, really. I love stepping out there with the guys week in, week out, and, trying to get results as a team. I have so much fun out there. And like I told everybody, there was a time, a few years ago when all I wanted to do was just practice with the first team. So I never take a moment for granted when, I'm out there on the stadium and getting games. So, it was a dream come true season for me. Tough the way it ended, obviously. I'll probably have nightmares of my last kick of the season for a while, but, I'm proud that, I ended up stepping up to take the penalty because, I look at, a few years ago where I would have never had the confidence to step up in a moment like that, and that's a huge credit to, the guys in the locker room, the coaching staff, front office, and everybody involved in this club that, have given me the belief that I could be a top player and I can, step up in those moments.
It wasn't that long ago you were kind of donning the Real Monarchs kit, playing as a winger, and you've had such a kind of meteoric rise over the last couple of years. You're still quite young. How much better do you think you can get over the coming years?
Yeah, no, I think I can continue to improve. This offseason, I definitely want to try and put on some muscle, try and put on a little bit more weight. I think that could be really beneficial for me. But at the same time, I'm continuing to work on my service, continuing to work on playing the balls in the channels for the forwards. So there's definitely a lot of things I want to improve on, and definitely take advantage of that this offseason and come back next season even stronger.
And lastly, for me, is that the main focus this offseason, is the weight gain?
Not the main focus, but I'd say it's an important part of it. Like to see if I could put on 10 pounds. I think that put myself in a good spot going forward. But at the same time, I've kind of always struggled with that my whole career, the whole weight thing, because I think it has to do with my body type and all the running that I do on the field. It's tough to maintain that weight when you're bombing up and down. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to try and see if I can get there, and coming into next season a little stronger. We'll see.
Do you feel like you get bodied off the ball?
No, I don't feel like I get bodied off the ball. I'd say there's times where maybe I can't get as tight to defenders as I would like because I have to play to my strengths and weaknesses there. I would notice in the Portland game, like if Asprilla is in front of me, I'm not going to get too tight to him because then he can spin me. So I kind of have to play to my strengths and weaknesses there, and kind of tempt guys to beat me 1v1 because I fancy myself as a 1v1 defender. I don't see guys beating me in that regard, but other than if I'm trying to get too tight, then they can spin me. So just little things like that.
What do you think the the long-term injuries to Demir and Bobby, how do you think that changed maybe the trajectory and the ceiling of this team this year?
Yeah, those are two pivotal players for us, two goal scorers. So I think having them would have been extremely nice. I mean, everybody saw what Demir was capable of last year, just in and around the box, scoring goals in big moments for us. So having a player like that definitely hurt us, but I think the team adapted really well, and I'm proud of the way we were able to face that kind of adversity and still progress throughout the season and put in some good performances.
If the core of this team comes back intact and Demir healthy, Bobby healthy, what else do you think this team needs to kind of get it to the next level where it wants to go?
Yeah, I think we need to have more of a clear picture going forward and an attacking identity. I felt like we wanted to get crosses into the box, but maybe we just didn't have the right people in there to head it. I think Sergio did an immense job of getting in and around the box, but it's tough not having a guy like Demir in there as well. I think both of them together could have been incredible for us, the size that they offer, and then the players that we have around them that could put balls into the box, whether that's myself, Aaron, Maram, Chang, whoever it is on the field. I think that going forward, that'll be a huge part of our success.
In terms of the identity piece, like, was it just that maybe you guys didn't have Demir and Bobby that kind of affected that, or is that more like a style a player mentality thing? Like, what exactly do you think was missing from that could improve?
Yeah, I think there were times where we could have been taking a bit more risks in the final third, whether that's trying to do little combinations in and around the box, little 1-2s where you kind of throw defenders off guard, rather than just kind of putting balls in the box. I think we could create more scoring opportunities, not from direct crosses, maybe more from like interplay, more in the center channel of the field. So I think that's something we can improve on next year.
This is maybe a little bit in the weeds, but I'm fascinated with that area because you guys statistically were one of the best crossing teams in the league in terms of like crosses connected and chances created from out wide and that kind of thing. Was that a focus for you guys, especially you wide players, just because of, I don't know, maybe it was talent that you had out there, or was that something that like you specifically worked on all year and like wanted to kind of be not known for necessarily, but kind of something that you took pride in maybe?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's kind of just the way our team kind of played. We like to get overloads out in wide channels and make the field as big as possible. And when you do that, you get isolated out wide and you have space out wide to take a touch and beat a guy and put it in across. So I think that's just kind of how our system panned out. And I think, you know, we have good servers of the ball, but I think we can be a little bit more multi-dimensional if we can find interplay through the center channels of the field, and maybe that includes taking some more shots from distance, or, you know, whatever it may be. But I do think we're fantastic when we get the ball out wide and put service into the box.
Is that something that's replicable too year over year, where you guys feel like you can consistently kind of be that good out wide, I guess?
I think so. No, I definitely think so. I think with the players that we have and the fact that we have attacking outside backs that want to get forward, we're always going to create numbers up in the wide channels to be able to put service in. So definitely a priority of mine to continue working on service, be as best as possible with both feet. Yeah, and go from there.
It's gotta be nice for you to go into this offseason with some stability, get that multi-year contract extension. I'm curious, what were those talks kind of like, I guess, with the club? And then from your perspective, you know, why did you decide to commit, I guess, to this club long term? What do you see this club doing in the next few years?
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice to have that stability. This is the first time in my entire career where I'm going into an off season already locked up and not just being on a 1-year contract with an option or something like that. So it is nice. You know, I definitely want to continue to reward the club for believing in me, and I think that's part of why I wanted to commit my future to here. You know, it's a club I've been a part of since I was 16 years old. I have so much love for the people here and for the club itself, and I just want to see this club succeed and win trophies. So, I thank everybody here for believing in me and, giving me the opportunity to show what I can do.
You've still got a pretty large fan base over in Austria for obvious reasons. They're kind of following you and Pablo, I guess, kind of your every move and whatnot. How big of a deal was that experience going outside of the U.S.? I mean, you guys weren't there for super long, but it seems like the growth really kind of expedited you guys to do what you did this year in a lot of ways.
No, definitely. I have so much thanks for everybody out in Austria that, kind of helped turn my career around. I was at a point where I didn't have much confidence in myself. I wasn't sure if I even was a good player at that point. And over there, people told me that they didn't really understand why I wasn't in the MLS. Christian Ziege told me that, and he's, played in the World Cups, played at some of the biggest clubs in the world, and someone like that telling you, like, why aren't you in MLS? I told him it's simply like, they said I wasn't good enough. So like hearing that from him really just made me realize that, I can do this. I just got to keep working, and I think they helped unlock that confidence in me where I could just go out there and play free. And that's something I took back with me here, to just go out there and, have fun and do what I do and try and get on the ball and attack.
Depth has been a little bit of a bugaboo at times the past few years for this club. How did you kind of feel about the depth of the roster this year and kind of what that could maybe mean going forward?
Yeah, I think we were a little bit unfortunate with injuries. That kind of limited some of our depth there. But at the same time, I think the guys that stepped up towards the end of the year were immense. I look at a guy like Brody, who didn't really get much opportunity with the first team the first 6 months of the year, and then he was a pivotal piece off the bench for us towards the end of the year. So I think guys are going to keep improving, and we're going to keep finding better depth, and that helps everybody because that pushes the starters to be even better week in and week out if they want to keep their spot. So I think that's going to be extremely important for us moving forward. The depth of this team and everybody pushing each other to ultimately be the best players that we can be, which will help the team.
From a defensive standpoint, you guys kind of experimented at times this year with 3-back, 4-back, and kind of trying to figure out like what worked best. As a defender, what is your opinion as to what system worked best and kind of what helped the team most?
Yeah, I don't think there's a particular system that worked best. I think it kind of depended on the matchup in the game. I look at the Galaxy game just a few weeks ago when we played the back three with wing backs, and with them being in the 4-back, the ability for me to kind of press up the field as a wingback kind of gave them problems, and then drop down at times when we're in a 4, playing maybe against a 5. Then it's if outside backs can drop down and really create questions of them whether their wingbacks follow me down the field, and that opens just so much space. So I think it kind of just depends on the team we're playing and the personnel that we have available to us. And I think it's important for us going forward that we can play in both formations and that we know how, because you never know when you have to adapt on the fly in the season.
This is really big picture, and it's probably above all of our pay grades in here. But I don't know if I'm asking you to put on your GM hat too much or anything, but it might not go that direction. But what's the next step for this club? Like, is there an area of the field, a certain player that maybe needs to come in here? Is there just Pablo's favorite word, a mentality that kind of needs to get out of this club? Like, what's kind of the next step for this group?
Yeah, I think I won't get into the GM aspect of it. That's not my job. I go out there and
Right.
do what I'm asked of, and fight for the badge.
I would love to see assistant GM Andrew Brody.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I got it in me, but no, I think the mentality piece is huge. We have to keep believing in each other and keep fighting every single game and making it difficult for teams. Then, especially here at home, I think it was at the beginning of the year a fortress for us, and I think we got away from that a little bit in the summer. And I think that's something that we really need to, focus on next year as well, making this a fortress again, making it difficult for teams to come and play. And I think just to keep progressing and keep getting better.
Good answer.
Any more questions for Andrew?